Hello, beautiful Leo squad, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading for the month of November here at the Intuitive Teacup. We are going to get into it. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally cool. Feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later date or time. Sometimes tarot messages make more sense in the future. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is, of course, optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Let's set the intention, though, to get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages, and let's have some fun doing it. I highly, highly encourage you guys to check out your rising sign in addition to your sun sign, because I'm going to be throwing in a little bit of astrology at you. This is very much a tarot reading, but I am going to reference a few things astrologically that are happening. So it would be helpful and possibly more insightful but useful to check out the video for your rising sign. Okay? All right, let's do it. So bottom of the deck for Leo is the Queen of Pentacles, and underneath is the Page of Pentacles wanting to be seen. So there could be something coming to a head with a parent-child dynamic. There could be an opportunity for you to talk to a boss about more money or more responsibilities at work. There also may be a boss wanting to talk to you about taking ownership of more responsibilities at work. Or it could be seeking out financial guidance, more financial resources, something of that nature. So we'll come back to that. We'll see how that factors in. So you're showing up with the Fool energy. So feels like a recent sense of freedom, being able to detach yourself from something that was causing you maybe some strife and worries, and feeling like you're hitting reset and you're making your best effort to put your best foot forward and start in a positive new direction, and see sort of like the beauty and opportunities that are around you, even though there's probably some chaos and some things that are not ideal. It's learning to work through them, and I'm wanting to say like move through fear. It doesn't mean it's not there, it's not absent, but I don't know. It's all about your optimism and your attitude and how you're going to move forward. So I really like that energy of the Fool. It's bright, it's cheery, it's happy. So yay, we like that a lot. I actually see you guys spending a lot more time with your pet. If you have like a cat or a dog or a bird or a fish, or paying a lot more close attention to your animal or your pet of some kind. I don't know why that's coming through, but it is. But it seems like a positive message. Maybe some of you are adding an addition to your household, via a pet adoption. Just putting it out there. Okay, moving on. Not super important, but hey, a fun message. All right. So Venus is going to be transiting your third house. So there's going to be much more pleasure and enjoyment in creative and imaginative projects or hobbies that you are looking to work on. You may feel inspired to do some writing or to dig deeper into some sort of intellectual adventure journey that you would obviously gain some knowledge from, but it feels like you benefit from it in some way. You may be reading a book on money or finances, or how to be more productive at work, or I don't know, something of the sort. The Venus could also bring just a desire to connect with people. With third house, it could be your neighbors, your local community, especially siblings. If you've been sort of frustrated with a sibling or on edge about a sibling dynamic, Venus is going to bring a lot more ease and, again, pleasing, enjoyable energy to that dynamic. So yay, we like Venus. It's one of the better planets, right? Excuse me. Let's see. There could be a Libra that gets in touch with you about some sort of collaboration, creative effort. There could be discussion of focusing more on the health and well-being of your body, but specifically giving up some sort of habit. I said this to another sign. I don't remember who it was, but for some of you, giving up smoking or watching your intake of some sort of substance, it could be weed or this or that, but weed, alcohol, whatever it is, it's maybe doing something with more balance and more moderation. It's likely that you get pleasure and enjoyment out of it. But it could be something where you could cut corners financially if you got rid of that thing. So especially when Venus conjuncts the South Node, there is a need to release something. And again, it's likely something that you do enjoy and see value in, but more or less you also understand that it may also have a different consequence. And so I think with a little bit of time in transition, you're going to be like, yeah, it's probably for the better that I give that up. So anyway, for a very, very select few of you, and again, this is not for the majority, there may be a culmination where something comes to a head with a sibling if they are very kind of just a chaotic personality that comes in and out of your life. And I'm almost getting like this idea of the Tasmanian devil. Like every time the sibling shows up, it's absolute anarchy. You may decide to sort of cut ties with that sibling in order to allow more peace into your own life. And almost like protect your space a little bit. It's maybe drawing more clearly defined boundaries of when you want to hang out with this sibling, because it does seem like there's a lot of disorder and chaos, and I'm sort of getting the idea of kind of negative energy when you're around them. So you may sort of draw a line in the sand to be like, okay, no more. And the thing is, I think it's going to bring you peace of mind. It's going to be like, okay, I can breathe, I can exhale a bit. All right, so you are going to have a new moon in your 4th house of home. So there could be a new home, quite literally, with the Justice card coming through, a new contract, a new property signing on the dotted line, a new negotiation for land or real estate or property. With Mars and Mercury moving through there, same thing. You may be discussing the home quite a bit. There may be more action and energy being put into tidying up the home, organizing, purging, cleaning, getting rid of what you don't need with Mars energy. And also plans for construction. Maybe you're adding an addition to your house, or Mars energy is fast. It's quick, and it essentially wants to make progress very quickly and move things forward, push the plans and the agenda forward. I will caution you, there is like a challenging aspect in the sky. Let's see, I think it's around November 10th, November 11th. We have Mars opposite Uranus. Mars is a planet, again, ruling fast movement and energy. It can rule heat and sharp objects. It can also be in regarding people's temper and sort of their passion, but also, anger. And it's being met in opposition with Uranus, which is the planet that wants freedom. It wants, it kind of wants to do its own thing. It wants to rebel. It wants to revolt. It wants to revolutionize. It basically wants to shake things up and change them and illuminate people to things and situations that need to be seen and heard. So this very much could result in the conflict among a family dynamic, particularly a spouse or a partner with the 4 of Wands coming up. It's possible there could be a disruption in a work environment. It could be that your boss is leaving or exiting or announces retirement. And it's not necessarily that that's bad. It may sort of put you in a advantageous position to take on some sort of role or extra work, extra leadership. But with Mars energy, there is sort of this feeling of being kind of, there's a lot of pressure, like a pressure cooker I'm sort of getting. And I will again, just reiterate, it can result in some fights and kind of some nasty energy at first. Obviously, everything in life, it is progressing us forward and allowing us to learn spiritual lessons of necessity. But there could be a difficult conversation that you have to have with a boss, with a coworker, with an employee, or again, possibly someone in your family, or needing to break the news to someone about something to do with a house or a property, or, maybe you have to evict your tenants. Or do you understand what I mean? There's kind of like this opposition, this force you're going up against, where the outcome, I'm sort of getting the idea of like cringe, like you don't want to do it, but it does ultimately need to be addressed. And it will grant you some freedom and some room to, again, explore or breathe again. But it's sort of like we have to address the elephant in the room, and it might not be met with the most pleasing, balanced of energy. You know, the Justice card, we can only hope for that outcome, and I think you'll get there. But you may have trouble convincing the other person to be on your team or take your side. So, you know, word to the wise. It's not about fear. It's just about sort of, you know, what you know, and that's all you can really go on at this point. So. Later on in the month, we're going to be moving into Sagittarius season. That is going to be fantastic because it is going to encourage and allow for you to spend more time being playful, being joyous, doing things that bring you a lot of pleasure, you know, hobbies. It's also your house of dating, so there may be more focus on time and energy put into your romantic life, dating prospects. It is the house of children as well, so for those who have children, you may be spending a lot more time with them, getting them ready for college, getting them ready for some sporting event. I don't know, I see sort of a need to plan something out with your child, but it's very exciting. It feels like they're entering into a new chapter or they're celebrating a recent win, and you're right there supporting them and possibly having to spend a little money to encourage them to keep pursuing their dreams. But I think you're doing so happily, but it does require a little bit of planning out. I'm almost seeing the idea of planning a costume, and I know we just had Halloween, so yes, that might translate for some of you, but I almost think it's something bigger or something other than Halloween. I don't know, for maybe it's like a dance costume, or I don't know, some sort of official gown, or sewing a logo onto their apparel, or I don't know what that is, Leo, but it's very interesting, and yeah, in support of your child, or for you it could be some sort of creative endeavor. You know, maybe you're into clothing and fashion design, maybe you're putting your business logo on some t-shirts. I don't know what that is, but it seems kind of nice. You know, Mercury moving into Sagittarius, it wants to talk, it wants to discuss, it wants to think about, you know, bigger concepts and ideas. And in terms of possible family dynamics, but I don't know, I see you wanting to engage more in romantic partnerships, even if you are currently with someone, opening up new doors of discussion and talking about things that really excite you. There could be a deep dive into, I know this is a weird way of phrasing it, but into your sex life, right? With Mars moving through that sector, and with Mercury as well, discussing what you want and what you need and what you like and what you desire. Some of you may quite literally, I know this is kind of odd, but like take like a class or a course to you know, get the most out of your sex life, or sex therapy or couples therapy. Or with Venus, it's like learning about compatibility and partnership. You know, maybe you're taking an astrology course on love and relationships. You know, maybe you're treating yourself to some sort of psychic reading about your partner. You know what I mean? There's that kind of like interest in how to enhance and get the most out of your current relationship. I actually really like that. So with this new moon, though, there is sort of, let's see. There is a need to shake things up and do things very differently. Possibly in the way you balance your home life versus your work life. Something has to change. It's like, I'm sort of getting that idea of like the straw that broke the camel's back. You've made a lot of strides and you have reason to feel accomplished and celebrate your recent wins. But again, something's got to give in terms of spending more time dedicated to the area in life that has kind of been put on the back burner. So again, a reason to enjoy that part of your life, but something may have to change in terms of pulling back your energy from work a little bit, or the opposite. If you've been very focused on family, it seems like you're in the spotlight at work, getting some sort of recognition or appreciation, signing some sort of new contract, new partnership, some sort of collaboration potentially. Home and family and land and property is coming into this very, very big. And I mean, maybe for some of you, maybe that's your career. Maybe you work in homes and properties, right? You know, just putting it out there. What else can I tell you? Let's see. So there is going to be a nice little trine with Venus and Pluto. So for some of you, there's an opportunity to transform some sort of dynamic, possibly with a sibling, and maybe go into a partnership with them in terms of some sort of collaboration that could be beneficial to you guys monetarily or financially. There could also be a collaboration with your current partner that takes on a much greater interest or necessitates more writing or researching or I don't know, something with more mental capacity is what I'm getting here. You could work with a partner who totally transforms your way of seeing and thinking and viewing something, especially if you're involved in some sort of collaboration. It might be it's almost like the yin to your yang. You guys kind of like complete each other in a really cool way where it's like this dynamic duo or this partnership where you really have a pulse on what your clients need and what you want. And so you do have a lot of very strong career cards, Leo. So I'm excited for you in that capacity. Let's see. There is going to be a full moon in your 11th house of communities, groups, friendships, also long-term goals, dreams, wishes, online communities, social media. Those are all kind of 11th house topics. And two cards indicating major endings, culminations, completions. Having gone through something that was challenging and forced you to really step up and become the master of this undertaking, so to say, acquire the knowledge, do the work, show that you're in it for the long haul. And it shows that you've gone through a tremendous period of growth. And again, recognition where you may get rewarded among some sort of group, team, community. You may be pulled out of the bunch and get recognized and honored in some capacity. You may choose to step into the role as some sort of teacher or mentor. With this full moon, it is aggravated by the sign of Saturn, or the planet Saturn. So there is a lot of Capricorn energy here too with the world. Again, a Saturn ruled sign. So with that, it's almost like you're taking the reins or taking the lead, taking control of a greater group of something. Maybe this is at work. Maybe this is I don't know, maybe you're in some sort of exercise class and you're stepping up to sort of lead. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with this role, so take it in stride. There may also be confusion about money, and you may need to get more clarity in the long term of what the compensation or the pay is going to look like. And I'm also, what is a good word for this? I'm also getting sort of like I'm hearing provisions. I don't know if it's the equipment or I'm hearing all these words, but I don't know how that connects to this message. Like the accoutrements, the stuff connected with essentially this opportunity. It's like you're going to need certain things to do it, and there may be a little bit of mystery of, okay, well, how much am I really going in on this? Like, how much do I already own? How much can I borrow? Do we need to acquire funds? Are we going to go into fundraising? Are we going to look for a loan? Or do you know what I mean? There's something to do with like money or the stuff, the physical matter, the properties, the possessions that we're going to need in order to complete this or do this. I'm just getting the idea there's some fogginess there. There's some question marks. So answers will be revealed, but know that with this full moon, I think you're going to have clarity on what you want to do, but how you're going to do it, there might still be sort of a waiting period to wait and see. So some of you are getting much more into bodybuilding or athletics or doing something very physical for your body. There may sort of be a little bit of stress in terms of feeling like you don't have the mental capacity to move forward with some sort of contract at work, or some sort of, again, something either in your family or in your workplace is requiring more time from you, in which case this sort of fun athletic endeavor, maybe you're training for a marathon or I don't know what it is, it seems to be pulling you away from that. And I don't know if that's ultimately okay with you. Quite frankly, it seems like you are really excited to go down this new path of wellness and health. Maybe it's spiritual wellness, something like that. But it feels like there's people and avenues in your life that are currently pulling you away from that. And I don't know, with this kind of fixed but also earthy energy, I almost feel like the universe is challenging you to really stick to your guns and be like, no, I need to do this for me because, I need to be operating at my highest and at my highest vibration, my best vibe. So like if I can't even do it for me, how can I possibly do it for you? Sort of that like you can't pour from an empty cup thing. So I think you're being asked to be very protective of this kind of new routine or workout or whatever it is that you're trying to implement for the better. Like it's it's lighting your fire. It's doing good. And so almost sort of the idea of not necessarily wanting to compromise or negotiate on that. There may be a struggle and kind of a weird power play dynamic there at first. But I don't know, my immediate reaction to that is you should stick to your guns. You should set healthy boundaries and be really blunt. Mercury and Sagittarius, say what you mean and mean what you say. And you may ruffle some feathers, you may rattle some cages. There may be people who aren't necessarily liking or adapting well to kind of this new version of you or what you're trying to do, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that there's kind of a difference of opinion. And here's the thing with this Knight of Pentacles, it's like you're going to make it work. You're going to figure it out. There may be, again, this transitional adjustment period of how much time can I spend doing this versus that? Where can I fit this routine into my day and not, bleed into my work, family life, whatever. You'll figure it out, but give yourself sort of a time to breathe. And yeah, the answers will come. I'm not terribly concerned about that, but do what's best for you, Leo. Let's see. What else? Yeah, I do see you going to a financial advisor or seeking out some sort of mentorship on financial decisions. There could be some sort of, hold on. There could be inheritance that comes from a father. You may be asking your father for a loan or for a sum of money. I think despite your fear of doing so, I think this person, or again, a father figure is what I'm getting, will gladly help you out. I see that being actually much easier than you're anticipating. In terms of long-term relationships, like those who are already in a romantic partnership, I feel like there's a little bit of poor communication on the forefront. There could be discussions and disagreements involving money or, again, time spent at work. Someone here seems really inflexible and not wanting to budge in terms of what they want. They're holding on for dear life to their own ideas and opinions. And, maybe that has to do with, something we talked about earlier of doing what's best for you and really being protective and dedicated and preserving what it is that you want here. That may cause, again, some tension in a relationship. Yeah, I don't know. With a marriage partner, I do see some quarrels and a little bit of back and forth. In terms of what's going to be helpful to you in that, I think you have to take it a day at a time and understand that a solution may not come immediately. Again, there's like this transition of needing to feel out what's right and maybe making slow changes and seeing how your partner reacts to that. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with I'm going to throw one more on that because I'm not really seeing a clear message of why that's coming through or the help available here. In terms of a short-term relationship, some of you may be at the point where you just feel like you've changed as a person and you may choose to exit a relationship. But I think that would be more on your part, where you just feel like, you know what, like, I'm just not in this the way I was. I thought this person was different. I thought they were I was getting like the idea, I thought they were going to deliver the goods and they just don't. And like, they're not meeting my expectations. This sounds very business oriented. So maybe this has to do with something at work. I don't know. I think you go back on sort of wanting to be with someone or someone who you embraced, into your life romantically or in your friends group. You may kind of be like, I think it's, this sounds so harsh, but it's like, I think it's dead weight. I think we can do better. I think I can do better. I think there's someone out there that's going to, light that fire more so than this person is doing. And to be honest, I think you're right. With the world coming through here, it might be like, and we're graduated from that. So it just kind of may have been an in-betweener relationship. It doesn't mean it was good or bad. It just, it may have just sort of fizzled out. I think that's a good way of putting it. I don't think there's a lot of bad feelings. It's just something kind of fizzled out. And yes, something else is piquing your curiosity. I think there may have been a relationship, dating especially, where it was okay, but like the sex just wasn't there. Like you're body chemistry wasn't where this person was at. It's like you guys just didn't speak the same language, like in the bedroom, or even that the idea of like, what's your love language, how do you show love, how do you need to be loved, that seemed to be sort of a sticking point in the relationship. And especially with Mars heading into Sagittarius, there could be again this newfound importance on your sex life, or going towards what really ignites fire within you. Maybe that has to do with passion, and maybe sex isn't part of it, but again, it's that Mars energy of what excites me, right? Like what lights my fire, what ignites me, what inspires me, what motivates me, what am I excited to go after and do and experience. If you're not with a partner who has at least some of those shared interests, it doesn't bode well. So for some of you, it's sort of like you already see this coming, that you may end up having to have this conversation. The irony is, I feel like this person is actually quite attached to you or quite comfortable in this relationship. So I don't know if they're blindsided, but they may feel a little bit hurt by it. But ultimately, how they feel and how they react is not necessarily your responsibility. I would say handle with care as best you can, but ultimately you need to move on with your life. And, you're doing them a disservice the longer you stay in a relationship pretending to be happy or enthusiastic about this person when maybe you're just not. It just kind of seems very like, it seems kind of ho-hum. And with this Knight of Wands, it's like, we got to get excited. Like, he's kind of my Indiana Jones, adventurous, let's be wild and crazy, work hard, play hard night. So if that's coming up in terms of relationships, there's just something here that's lacking. And so I think that's going to be kind of a mission or something you're looking to go after in the coming months, is finding better compatibility. All right, Leo, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon.